What's up? What's happening, everybody? K Mega 405 back, and it's good to be back. But it's K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405. While I'm just your regular gamer, talking to the intelligent gamers out there. What's going on? You had to take a real, true hiatus. I haven't really done that. I've taken a couple of hiatus, but even during that time, just kind of. But it's K-Mac. And I was hearing my voice, very milky and silky. Yes, I love it. Anyway, stop it. Let me do that. What's going on with you, Curie? How you doing? Anyway, but had to take a hiatus. And I've done them before, of course, but I still was moving around. Had so much other stuff going. These last 2 weeks, I just got back. I canceled doctor's appointments. Like other little events and stuff that I had going on, I just drowned out and just got back to what my therapy, which is gaming. And it has been very therapeutic. It's been good. First we're starting off with the First Ascent, no life that, and then now it's college football. I haven't played anything else. I mean, I haven't even played First Ascent. So, but after I get off doing this video or the stream, I will definitely try out some of these other games out here that I bought, others that's on Game Pass. It's available, ready for me already in download. It's crazy, I haven't even as excited as that I was for Flintlock. Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, Kira, yeah, for real. Just just need to get that break. Sometimes you need it, which is why I understand it. I definitely understand it. And then of course was going to do GRG Friday. Everybody was extra late, and I didn't want to be in a position where we having conversations until 12 o'clock because I don't want to go that long either. And so, and sometimes when we get to flowing and get to talking, and if I get into one of my rants or somebody else gets into one of the rants, I don't want to interrupt anybody or tell them, hey, shut up, except Sir X-Man. I always like to tell him to shut up just because he always gives me a hard time behind the scenes and on the show. But regardless, but no, man, I just sit back and reflect on a lot of things because even though, from my mom passing in February, and then all family, friends, people that I've known that have passed away here since going back to like 2018. Uncle died of COVID. My mom started getting sick around that time, and then seeing all those people going through all that suffering from the pandemic and seeing that. Homeboys, grew up with, they passed away. And then just a couple of weeks ago, of course, my buddy, my Briggs, man, what I'm saying, holding him in his last moments, and of course, people didn't know that Briggs died of cancer. That's what took him. And so, but I was glad that I was there to hold him in his last moments, and then just everything else in between, like I was talking about before, when I had my last my thoughts video, the gaming politics side of it, the situation with that and everything else, just all combined, just all put it, the politics, the grifters, all of this stuff, like everything. So I look, man, I'm gonna sit back and game my ass off, and just chill with that. But but everything is getting ready to go on schedule. Right after I do GRG tonight, I'll be looking to set up my the times on Twitch, because you really can't set the times for, and I guess I could set those times for when I start this streaming stuff. And now, since I'll Fight Night is always going to be on Sundays, but I'm also thinking about, once I'm done doing the GRG podcast, putting Fight Night on Fridays. And then I will be doing, which I've said I was going to do sports night, where I'm playing all different types of sports games, on Thursdays and Saturdays. And so, like, now I got a schedule. I've been over here like what days? And then I'll also be streaming. Like, I need to go back and play finish because the last time that I played it and was when I streamed it was Immortals of Avium. So I want to, and I was like, well, since I started streaming that, I need to go and I need to finish it. And so we'll get back to doing that to where I'm streaming other different games during the week, and then of course my thought videos and stuff like that. So no, I've been planning on all of that, but been no life in the hell out of college football. Can't tell you how much I enjoy that game. If anybody's been seeing, I've been having Cypher hit me up every once in a while. You know, like, hey man, what we gonna play? What we gonna fight? What we gonna fight on Street Fighter 6 and all that other stuff? Like, and then I seen one person hit me up was like, damn, nigga, you've been on this all night. It has been everything. It's been. I knew I was happy that college football came back, right? But yeah, no, I'm real happy about college football being back, and because it's really good now. It does have its some setbacks, and there's a patch coming in to where the set because there's got a really bad lag issue, especially if you're doing the dynasty mode or the path. I think it's the path, whatever. I forget what the actual other mode is, and then even with some online games, you get that crazy lag slowdown. So it's gotten better in the last couple of days. I noticed that, but it's still there. They've addressed that they're going to come and fix that. They're going to do some other patches and fixes and things like that, bugs fixes, and that's going to be really good. But to me, that was one of the biggest issues is that lag. Because it kind of affects you what you're trying to play or you got to play, especially if it's serious. You know, it's stressful. You got a third and maybe 12 or a third and 6, and you know you're down. And if you got that lag, it's just kind of messes up everything. So yeah, but anyway, I've been having a great time with it. When I start streaming college football, I've already worked on another team. I started off with. Of course, I started off with the Sooners, and then I went ahead and the creative team is just absolutely incredible, right? Like it's dope as hell. Um, it's you know, you got all different. There's so many people that's made all different types of schools, and so seeing you know HBUs in there. And things like that. I've seen Booker T. Washington. Like I'm like, what? And so I started playing with them. And then I seen Langston University, which is a HBU out here in Oklahoma. You're kind of out there, you know. I went out there and got me a couple of credits out there before I went to Rose State and then went to Oklahoma Central before I got graduated from there from college. But they it was really cool to see that, and it has the jerseys right, everything. Like it was just so dope. So that's the team that I will be playing with, going through my journey. I'm just going to want to get through one season because I am a 1 star, and it is very difficult because I'm playing on a higher difficulty, and so therefore it's crazy. So you know and so I joined the Big 12, and yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And now it's actually the Big 20 because I've added a bunch of custom teams, took out some of those teams that didn't really matter or people don't really get, which I guess that's disrespectful because anybody that's going to those schools, it does matter. But in K Mega's world, it you know, no, the Zips, you out of here. Let's go ahead and put in Honolulu State, which that's probably one of the best created stadiums and jerseys I've seen so far. I don't even know if there is a Honolulu State. I don't know if that's real. But if you go through it and you see it, oh my God, the stadium looks dope. The colors look crazy. The everything. Like whoever made that, they get 1,000 points because they just that it looked incredible. But a lot of the creative stuff that they're doing looks really fantastic. But anyway, so yeah, I got to jump on. I got to play Flintlock. Haven't booted up anything. Path of the Goddess. I bought SMT Vengeance day it came out, and I haven't even booted. I haven't booted up anything. I bought a couple of games. There's a game that I was looking forward to that's coming out on the 5th of next month. It's a like a ship shooter game. I need to look and find out what I need to remember what the name of that game is. I can't think of it right now. Size something. Anyway, it looks really really dope. It's kind of like the Gladius, if you've ever played those type of ship shooting games. It looks like that, but with enhanced graphics. I don't. I think it's running off of Unreal Engine 5, but it looks dope. I had to get it. It was in Game Pass on sale for like $26. So I went ahead and I picked that up. But I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's just so much, so much stuff is going on. So, but yeah, we'll get into what some of these topics that I'm going to get into, but I just wanted to get a little introduction going on. So again, I guess I'll start off with the console war situation, right? Um, and my meaning of it. I've been noticing, of course, I've been really all in on my politics. So, it's been a fascinating lot of history within that's just been going on in the last month, but especially the last couple of weeks in politics. Golly, I can't wait to talk about that here next and how it all correlates into the gaming situation and all that. Um, but with the console war, when what I'm saying, is it really over? And I'm looking at what Kermit is saying. He's saying the console war is still going on, hanging on by a thread. Microsoft will end it. I wonder if we will get back to talking games again. I agree with that 100% because oh, come on, Richili, come on, man, hold on. I for some reason this thing isn't to where we can see your comments. I'm probably because I've haven't hit the right thing yet. So hold on, let me get that. But anyway, he's saying what's so special about playing college teams, bro? You got to play these games, man. You got to give it a shot. Now, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But it's definitely for me. I am stoked. I love every bit of it. Like I said, I haven't even thought about booting up anything else, but I need to because I want to have an experience of going on. I'm hearing good things about Flintlock, and also Path of the Goddess. I guess that I ain't checked for reviews. I don't give a shit about the reviews. That stuff is garbage to me. I don't care what anybody else has to tell me about a game that they played, if they liked it or if they didn't. In that respect, I'll just make the decision myself. I've already given. I've talked about that a million times. Like I don't care. I wanna play an experience and then I'll know if I like it or not. But uh, the it's just as me as a fan of sports. And if you're not a fan of sports, then I can understand why you wouldn't care about college football or Madden or NBA 2K or baseball or soccer or anything like that. But to me, it's I guess it would be football. I guess from the world's perspective. But I, I don't know, man. It's just fun to see college football back, playing with different teams, with real people's names, or I'm saying, well, some of the people that on, I don't know if all of them are real, of course, uh, but some of the people in there, like I said, there's been some people that's put a lot of work into those customs, and just to see playing with other teams that aren't in the game actually and how it works and correlates so well with when you're playing the dynasty mode. Man, listen, it is really impressive stuff, and it's only going to get better. This is just the first entry of it. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, and so that means that the customization is even going to be more crazy. And then I would say, I think next year that there will be a PC version of college football 26. And so the customization that's going to be on there is going to be nuts. And then at that point, then you'll have path, which golly, I can't remember what it's the path of where you take you create your own player, and then you take them through all of college. Take them through the journey of college, and at that point, like they didn't. The one thing that a lot of people was upset about before the game came out was that it didn't have the high school teams or schools. You didn't start off in high school like you did in the older college games. They're going to implement that. They just wanted to get this game right, and I can respect that. And then of course there's no HBUs in there in the game, which in previous games there were HBU, which is historically black colleges. Um, or universities. They had some in the older games, but like they just wanted to get the game right. So everything, they wanted to get the gameplay right. That you just could tell that they wanted to make sure that the game was proper, and then they'll gradually start adding other stuff. But anyway, just think of what will happen when the PC community get a hold of it next year, and what people when they start adding high schools, like because even in the customizations, they're high school. People's made high schools, but when it's actually in the game and then what people can do with those certain high schools, it's going to be crazy. Madden is for I looked to see what Madden did. I got that bundle, um, and Madden looks good. The gameplay looks solid, but we got to just see what that career mode looks like. Because if the career mode, if the franchise mode is and it's better, Madden has been better. The gameplay has been solid. It's gotten better, but there were still things missing. But now since you got college at the forefront, Madden's got to show improve, and I hope it does. Because they're both EA games, so EA is still going to eat regardless if Madden sales go down. But the competition is back because you're going to have those people that's going to love college or love Madden more because of just people loving professional teams over college and people loving college teams over professional. But it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? I think EA is really getting themselves back to where people are starting to enjoy EA, their games, and they're going back in the right direction. I've seen that they also brought. I've seen the trailer for NBA Streets, which I've been saying that is that's perfect for them that's the perfect lane, because NBA Live, they need, even though that NBA 2K needs that competition, EA has to get the right team to go after that juggernaut, because it wasn't like how Madden did 2K5 football, where they just made a deal with the NFL and then just kind of pushed everything out to where there was no competition. They did it the slimy way. 2K just whooped NBA Live's ass to the point of submission until it quit. That's how you do it. If you want something to bow out, you got to do it like NBA 2K did. And now, unfortunately, NBA 2K has become still a great basketball game, but it has become too monetized. It's too much. I'm saying they got too greedy, and now a lot of the NBA 2K fan base is looking at them sideways and wanting to see things change, because now it's from where things were at its apex from like 2014, 2013. Hell, people even love NBA 2K 2010. And I think probably with the last great NBA 2K where everybody was almost unanimous, where people loved it was probably 17, NBA 2K 17. I know a lot of people did like NBA 2K 21, but again, that's the monetization where you had to pay more money into the game than actually earn it, and that so they have to get back to the roots. And then at that point, but for EA to bring NBA Streets, I think that's perfect for them. They need that, and what I'm saying, and yeah, and unfortunately, Dark, I would love to see those games again, from like what they brought back from EA Big, like NFL Streets and FIFA Streets and stuff like that. We could see a FIFA Streets, maybe, I don't know, but we won't see an NFL Street unless whatever this game 2K is bringing, because they are bringing a football game, but it's going to be in the same lane as what EA is bringing with the basketball. It's going to be more arcadey, more fun. So if 2K could bring kind of like an NFL Streets type of game to the table, then I'm all for it. But EA themselves, with the contract that they have with the NFL, they said the NFL did not like those type of games because of all of the controversy back then with the hits and the violence, and then you had players that were committing suicide, and then the mental when they did those autopsies and they were doing those doing all that research and finding out that the violent hits was making a lot of these players kind of go loopy and then want to harm themselves. So the NFL was like, no, 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 we ain't touching that. So that's the reason why NFL Streets is gone, and I don't think it'll ever come back. Not under EA especially, and will probably be. And if they do bring, if 2K, whatever this football game is going to be, it's going to be toned down. It's not going to be nowhere near as violent as the NFL Streets was, which I love the NFL Streets. They were so good, so damn good. But anyway, um, and Chili, yeah, you're right. 2K made the was one of the first games that was $70, right? Like that's what I'm saying, like $70, and then you spending all this money for VC, and then they made it really really challenging for you. You had to just do tons and tons and tons and tons of, you had to put tons of hours in just to get your created character to even compete when you're playing online. And so, which kind of forced you into paying to get your character up and things like that. So yeah, no, I think when I was watching one video from one of those NBA guys, 2K content creators, there was a person that spent $40,000 on the last NBA 2K, on this previous NBA 2K. That's nuts. That's crazy. That you shouldn't even. There's no way in hell you should be spending that type of money. But again, it is what it is. But the console war stuff. The more I'm still keeping up with, like I was saying, I'm keeping up with the politics like a motherfucker right now. But when you look and you see the stuff that's going on to be talking about gaming, it's real light. The summertime after these events are usually always light, but it is extremely light. Like it is not even, it's almost to a point where it's corny. Like when you still see the same PlayStation stand still talking about console sales, or Xbox is not selling their console, and this and that and this, and then you see other people that's posting that that the Series X is sold out and in certain stores and stuff. It just the impact just don't hit like that anymore. It just don't. Because of one reason, Xbox has already told us exactly what their plans are. Yes, they will still continue to be making consoles, but they are no longer caring about the console to that degree as though PlayStation and Nintendo does. They're going to a different lane. They're already moving forward with what is going to happen with all of these companies eventually. Nintendo will be the last one standing, but Nintendo eventually will start to move on from the console. It's just the fact that the writing is on the wall. It's been on the wall. Um, and I'm saying PlayStation is going to follow suit. They always do. And like I said, Nintendo's going to be the last one. But yeah, when you just did you see and read the stuff from what people is posting, it just, the impact isn't the same no more. And it's just like what Kermit said. It's like it's hanging up. The console wars is hanging on by a thread because the same old arguments about the console sales. I'm saying, listen, congratulations. PlayStation is number two. Nintendo is the best console selling. Is the best selling console, and Nintendo's number one. Now say you talk about the market share stuff. PlayStation's number one in that category for now. See, the long game is what Xbox is working on, is with the long game. And the long game for Xbox is what I've been saying and been alluding to, and others as well, is that they don't need to sell more consoles to become the market leader. You see every quarter, PlayStation's lead the numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That, like, yeah, they make more money for that year, but Xbox is catching up with them constantly. And then the same talk about, well, this with that Game Pass. Well, I'll get into that here a little later, but they're the people don't care about the console anymore. I've seen somebody that was always dropping Xbox content said that they were going to bow out and go to PC. Xbox don't care. Xbox is cool with it. Xbox is like, cool, go over there. Go over there. Because you know what? You still dealing with Xbox. You're still dealing with Microsoft. The game has changed so much right before our eyes. Like the whole generation has changed to a point to where it's just wild, right? Like it's just a crazy, 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 crazy situation. And it's and like nobody would have known and seen all the things that we've seen coming. But there's one thing for sure is that like people are still trying to downplay the Call of Duty aspect, the whole Activision thing. Man, this thing, listen, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be real crazy. And so so again, the it's about no longer the consoles, it's about the ecosystem. So if you want to say it's the ecosystem wars, then that's the new thing. But it damn sure isn't the consoles. The consoles don't matter. PlayStation is one that Phil Spencer already conceded to it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, and we'll have more people that'll say that they'll go to PC or they'll do this, they'll do that. But it is what it is. So it is what it is. So um it is what it is. Let's see. Go ahead and see if I'm trying to get this thing fixed right here. Try to show people's replies here. Went off and then it came back on or whatever. But anyway, I'll keep working on it while I'm sitting here talking. But yeah, one one issue here is that like I know that people are upset about the Xbox situation, but it's like we said, are you really going to jump and leave the ecosystem? You might not buy another Xbox, but you're going to still be within that ecosystem in some way, shape, or form. And that's the reason why Play Anywhere is so important. See, PlayStation is going to be making a store at some point, and then people are going to be making a decision of if do they want to still buy a PlayStation or do they want to still stay on or do they want to just get a PC and start playing their PlayStation games there? Because I've already kind of made that decision. I was fighting it because as a console fan, I always want to buy the latest tech. But after now buying, a really high powered, uh, GPU or just building me a new PC. Um, the situation to me is that like I like playing my PlayStation games on my PC more than I do playing on my PlayStation. Like I mean, they hit so different. Like you playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like I can't wait to play. I stopped playing God of War Ragnarok. I have not beat God of War Ragnarok yet because I'm like, you know what? It's coming to PC. Like and then like I beat Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, but man, the way that Ghost of Tsushima looks on the PC, it's man, no. And so God of War is going to be that's where I'm going to be being like Horizon Forbidden West looks absolutely fantastic. I know MJ Dart, you'll say that it's a good relaxing game. They'll put me to sleep, but regardless, it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. It runs better. And then for even for the benefits for Xbox gamers that will say that they're going to just go and just get a PC and not buy the console, you ain't got to go through that bullshit of caring about what Digital Foundry's talking about. Because if you have a powerful rig, the hell does it matter what consoles look like, vice versa? Which consoles outperforming which? Because you know what your rig is going to do. So again, Xbox don't care. Like the Play Anywhere thing is also a great incentive. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and upgrade my PC and then just see how this all plays out. And to me, I just look at it like, man, I mean, playing Starfield between my Xbox and playing it between the PC. I've caught myself playing it more on PC. Uh, I found myself liking to play my single player experiences on PC more than I do on the console. That's what I've started to learn because I'm a graphics whore. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care about frames. That's not my thing. Like again, I'm playing. If people was watching me playing the First Ascent. I'm playing the hell out of it on Xbox. It could run better on my PC. I was playing it on both ends, and I would sit there and I would be playing it all day. Like I've been playing college football. I'm not caring about no frames. You know what I'm saying? On that, because it's not on PC, it's only on X. So I don't care about the frame situation. But when it comes to single player games, I am a graphics whore to that degree to where I'm like, yo, this is popping. I think I'm going to keep playing it here. So like what's the game? I haven't beat it. Scary as shit. I'm not big into scary games anymore, which is really crazy. Um, what the hell is the name of that game? Alan Wake. The Alan Wake game. Man, the difference between playing it. I bought it on my PC, and so I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and get the Xbox version of it. And then I'm like, why? So I'm just like, why? Let me just go ahead. I wish that game was a Play Anywhere title, but it's not. But regardless, you know what I'm saying? It's just I've started to evolve, not becoming and so like some people think like, well, you're going to become a PC guy more than no. I'm still going to be a console guy. It's just that certain games that I like to play on PC, others that like my fighting games. I like to play my fighting games on my P. I mean, on my Xbox or on my PlayStation more so than I like playing it on a PC. It's just like now, but for like racing games, I would rather play the racing games on my PC than I would on my Xbox or on PlayStation or even on Nintendo. I would love to see play Nintendo games on my PC. Well, you can do that, but you know that's neither here nor there. I don't know nothing. Anyway, but yeah, I would like to have so it's just different, like a different situation for me. Like I like sports games. I'd rather play sports games on my console than I would on PC. So the consoles still have value for me and always will, as long as they still have some. It's to me is where it's the Xbox that has the value. The Nintendo will have the value because until Nintendo decides to get their head out their ass and do the Lord's work and bring some of their games over to PC, so I can go ahead and look at them at their super glory. Um, but PlayStation, PlayStation enough now these days. Like, I mean, it has to be something in them now, like for something that would maybe, yeah, make me go ahead and buy it and support the PlayStation console and play on that. Those games are coming to PC, so I can wait. I'm not in a hurry. So that's what I'm saying. Like the console war aspect of it to me is like, look, I'm always playing games all over the place anyway. But why do I have to spend extra money when I can go ahead and upgrade something, spend the extra bag to give me something to play it at its best. So that's why I'm like, PlayStation. This was the last PlayStation. This was definitely the last PlayStation, and there's no reason for me to buy another PlayStation. It's just not. Um, so it's just not. So I mean, I wasn't say PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 was the last PlayStation for me. I've always fought and fought and fought. If I was going to get a PlayStation 5, no, I'm not. Unless I come up on one for $100, $100 or something, 150, I'll cop it. I'll cop it just for sentimental value. Just to say that I got a PlayStation because I've always owned one. Nah, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just not for me. I'm a part of the Xbox ecosystem, and that's where I like to be. That's where I enjoy my gaming the most. And since I can bring that over to PC as well, it's cool. And then like on the flip side of it, like when I'm even on PC, I'm playing more unless it's a game that it isn't on the Microsoft, or you can't buy it on the Microsoft Store or through that Xbox app. I'll be playing more on Xbox on my PC through the Xbox app, unless, like I said, it's a game that I buy off of Steam. I don't really mess with Epic Store. I even pick up a few of those free games from there, but their prices is too high, and you know what I'm saying, and I just and their and their app is kind of intrusive. Like they want you to do all this, sign all in, have this all working and do it. No, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the Epic Store. Now I do like GOG, I do like God, but um, no, I just find myself still being within the Xbox system, ecosystem, and that's where the true war is now. Is the ecosystem. It's not so much about the consoles because listen, PlayStation has won the console war between Xbox wholeheartedly. I mean, last gen was the opportunity for Xbox to to break the mold, but then they sat on their hands and made a lot of silly ass decisions. We come to find out the real reason of I'm glad that somebody did bring that up, because we always been asking about the marketing fat side of it, of like what's the deal um with Xbox marketing. And I'm glad that somebody brought up just says, look, like, Microsoft just don't want to give us the money for the budget, which is really, really stupid in my opinion, but it is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? But and that's what, you need that type of advertising if you want to compete in that space, especially with the console. And PlayStation is already grandfathered in, just like Nintendo. Like when people bring up about the consoles, it's usually about PlayStation, it's usually about Nintendo. And when people talk about anything Xbox, it's their games. It's Halo, it's Forza, it's Gears, it's Fable. Like they don't talk about Xbox in that same sense as like they do for PlayStation and Nintendo. And that that right there is their fault, because the one thing that made the 360 so special and sold like hotcakes is because of their advertising. They advertised everywhere, everywhere, movies, TV, things like that. And I understand that the climate is different, and the internet is the pathway, and then content creators and so forth and so forth. But again, that lack of advertising, you don't see. This is another thing too that is problematic with Xbox's marketing. Okay, you want to do these analytics and go through the situation of going through social media. Well, when you have people on social media that has a million subs, and PlayStation, and they're all talking, and a million subs or 530,000, 40,000 subscribers or whatever, and they're mostly all PlayStation channels. And then so the few Xbox channels that's out there, they're usually smaller. And you don't grab some of these smaller channels and lift them up to get to that point to where you should ask, so they can help you advertise the product. This is where, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, and I get it, because they went to the boogies, and then they went to these other people that were PlayStation, mostly PlayStation fans and content creators, and you want them to promote the Xbox. Well, yeah, they'll be nice for that first, the second time, their first time, maybe the second, but after that, they're going to get back to talking shit about Xbox. And so all of that was just done for nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got the eyes on it, but then yet right after that, they're still talking shit about Xbox right after that. So it defeats the whole purpose, in my opinion. It just doesn't make any damn sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we all knew that the marketing has been ass ever since Titanfall. Um, so you know what I'm saying, after Titanfall, or yeah, because they didn't really promote Quantum Break, they didn't promote the other game, Sunset Overdrive. Right after that, like at that point in time in 2016, their advertising for most of their games was, I mean, State of Decay didn't even get. I mean, it's just because of word of mouth, and that the game is a was a cult success, that game, sold like it did. It did well. Gears, it's already a known property, so it's going to do well, regardless. But I mean, everything else, like Recore didn't have a chance, So like, I mean, it just didn't make any sense. And of course, we all know about what happened that last year. We've talked about it for years and years and years and years of the Xbox One tobacco. Listening to too many people, especially some of the people now that don't even rep Xbox anymore. And then that whole thing with Japanese games and all that crazy shit. Yeah, no, just a just too many butt ass backwards situations that is hurted. And when you look at the console aspect of it, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like PlayStation and Nintendo is the dominant ones in the console space. Xbox is still relevant because it's still, listen, don't let these people give you this mindset of thinking that Xbox is irrelevant because it sells the less out of the other two. The Xbox One sold over 60 million consoles. That's a lot of damn people. If the Xbox Series consoles sell 40 to 50 million, which is, you know what I'm saying, which, yeah, that's a decrease of 10 million for sure, or so. But if the series sells 40 to 50 million, that's a lot of damn people. See, like, people try to give this thought process of like the Xbox is selling like the Wii U did, which was abysmal. No, now, when you got an Xbox selling at that point where it's at like 18 million for its lifetime, for its generation, then we have a problem. But if you're selling a 40 plus million consoles, I mean, that you cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, console sales are going to continue to keep going down. So the PlayStation 5 is not going to outsell the PlayStation 4. It's just not happening. You know, the PlayStation 6 will not outsell the PlayStation 4, and it might not catch the PlayStation 5. We don't know where the PlayStation 5 is going to land, but PlayStation 5 is definitely not going to catch the PlayStation 4. It's just not. And so, you know, the new Switch, it might cook, but it's going to cook. But is it going to sell as much as the original Switch? No, it's not. It's just not. And listen, these kids are not into the consoles, and a lot of them are moving away from thinking PC is for old people. So it's a situation to where now the new generation is dictating where the market goes, and it's wherever it is. If it's going to be on your Fire Stick, is it going to be on your TV? Is it going to be? I'm sure that soon it will be. You'll get Game Pass and the PlayStation app and things like that on you know, PSN and things like that on your monitors, on your screen monitors and things like that, and through your cell phones. It's just different, and it's crazy because it's all coming at you so quick. Like, you know, it's so yeah. It just seems like, nah, man, things are still the same. It is not the same anymore. It is just not the same. It is just not the same. So it is nuts. I said I was going to be trying to mess with this thing, and I'm over here yapping away. And so I'm sorry, guys, I did not. I haven't got your what you call it up here yet, but I will. Let me read some of these comments in here. Uh, yeah, well, EA Big is definitely coming back. Lady Foxfire, what's going on with you? She said, "Hey, K, bro, what's up, and how are you?" I'm good. I am good. I am really good. Like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I was basically just talking about, like, you know, there was so much stuff that was happening all at once. You know, and then like the Mighty Briggs passed away on me uh, due to cancer. They just he fought it as hard as he could, but it's just like what they say. It's like when they go in to cut, and uh, and if they don't get all of the cancer, or the cancer usually spreads. You know, I mean, like old people used to say, you know, once the air hit it, here hits, you know, once they open you up and the air hits it, yeah, I know, like old people talking, old folks talk is crazy, but in a sense, it's true. Once they go in and they cut it, and they don't get everything. That was it. And so once the vets told us that the polyps and stuff, well, the tumors that they did take out, you know, once they told us that they were cancerous, that we kind of knew that it was going to come back, because he seemed fine there for a minute, and then all of a sudden he started getting acting bad, and it happened so quick, like within a month, right after he got the surgery, he was back to himself. You know, he was still hurting from the surgery, but then after that, about a week and a half or so, he got he got good. I mean, he was back to being Briggs, and then after that, boom, it just got bad. It was just, and then you could just tell, and he wouldn't eat, and he just, you know, it was a sad situation to see him go out like that, and it's kind of crazy because I'm used to him popping his big ass head over here and getting right up under my desk, or laying down right in front of the doorway, and just listening to me talk or whatever until I'm done or whatever. So yeah, but it hit, and then of course, just like I said, everything else, the gaming politics stuff and all of that other stuff, like everything. And I had to just get away. I had to just sit back and just game, just sit back and just game. And so yesterday, well, not yesterday, Wednesday was my daughter's birthday, 25. finally got out. I just, like I said, I just kind of my own zone, just won the game and just, cancel some stuff and all that. But I'm good. I am good. I'm very good, very good, very good. Just absorbing the politics and then just looking and seeing if there's any really true gaming news that's worthy of talking about. There's a few things, not too much because it's the summertime. We'll see what happens at Gamescom. But other than that, I'm good, and I hope everybody else is doing pretty good. But all right, let's try this. See. Uh, Dude, I'll just let it cook for a minute and see what's going on. But see, yeah, you see it right up there at the top left. It's saying it's active. It says waiting for the chat, but the chat is right here. I don't know what. Oh, I might have. You know what? You know what I did wrong? Hold on. I know what I did wrong. I'll do. Let me read some more. Let's see. He said you never paid for that, always earned it, but they did not slow the grind down a bunch. No, they didn't. No, I caught myself paying way too much when me and Dealer and Xbot was running on not this year's 2K, but the 2K before that. Um I I I lost my damn mind because I was over here like because we were playing the park and stuff so much. Dealer went crazy. I that bro. That's probably why he went away for. Bro, how many players you got? He had like five, six different players. And I know how much I spent, you know what I'm saying? And Bot just kept his same player. And so I'm like, I got like three different players. I spent, but for me, I wanted my player to have the drip. So I was spending my money on drip. And so on mostly drip and also the enhanced, but I went back and thinking that if I did the story mode a couple of times, that I could get enough VC. Nah, the grind was garbage because the VC was less because I was over here playing, looking and checking out videos like how can you beat the system, and one was like, well, if you play 2 minute quarters on Hall of Fame and do this and do that, then you'll get the most earning VC. I started doing that, getting crazy numbers, and they did a patch to where they stopped at. So I thought that if I went through the story mode, which the story mode after the story mode was okay, but I did it two other times, I did it three times altogether. Like it was very monotonous and like boring. So and then I still didn't get enough VC. So then, like I was saying, it's kind of forced you to pay a little bit more, and I spent way more money than I was supposed to. I spent like what close to embarrassing, close to about maybe $500. so yeah. No, and I was like, I ain't doing this shit again. So that's why I stayed away from the story mode. I was just playing career and playing a couple of online games. And then for this one, I'm staying away. I did exactly what I did the last time because I played the Spike Lee story, and I really enjoyed that one. And then I spent more money than I wanted to. I spent like maybe at that time like about $150. And I was like, I'm done. Well, this time I spent, and that's to show you the difference of how much they hit you over the head if you get that deep in. So again, I spent $500. Dealer, I know he spent like over $1,000. I know he had to. He had to. It's down because The Witcher 3 came out, and The Witcher 3 came out again, and I got lost back into The Witcher. Anytime that there's Witcher anything, I'm on that. So I kind of was out of the game for a little while and then came back. But by that time, him and Xbot was playing all types of shit, and then now Xbot don't even mess with my career anymore. He plays the pro am stuff. So and that's what I was saying that I was going to do the pro am thing. And anyway, so yeah, no, I'm like, I'm not spending that type of money again. Now, 2K can kick rock, can kick rocks on that one. I've already spent the 150 for the game and the package because you get the NBA League Pass with it, which I think is that's a great deal. But after that, no, I'm like, I'm not. There ain't no reason to be paying that type of money for no damn game, and not at all, not at all, not at all. Yeah, y'all Fahim, yeah, it is. Yeah, losing a pet is not fun at all. It is not fun. Um, j- just tripping on why this isn't working right now, but oh well. I'm sorry, guys. I was wondering. I'll have it right for GRG tonight. I'll do some work on it. Um, cause yeah, that's just weird. Why that's not showing anything. It's weird. I haven't messed with it in a while, so I'll get it fixed. But anyway, sorry guys about that. You said your cat grew up with you. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, and the life expectancy for Briggs because he's such a big dog was only for what 9 to 10 years max. But he died at 5. He just turned 5 like a month and a half, a month and a half before he passed a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that was yeah. So it was rough. It was tough. It was tough. My wife took it really hard, right? And so, and so it was what I'm saying, like it was not as traumatic or as bad. Of course, losing my mom, but it did hit, and like I said, like all that stuff had just kind of all came in together, and so it was pretty crazy. But anyway, getting on to being done getting my last party in about the console war stuff and then moving on to the politics and gaming. But yeah, I'm saying for any Xbox gamer at this point in time, if you're still on the fence, bruh, you've already just showed us that you just aren't all in on Xbox, and so therefore, why don't you just go somewhere else? I just like at this point, at this stage, like, I mean, if everything that you do is complain, 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 like you're never happy about anything and everything that Xbox provides, and you can see the the crumbs that the PlayStation fan base is getting, and they're still happy. They're happy, right? They still, or maybe pretend to be happy at least something, but they're joyous. And for all the stuff that's come out for Xbox already, and for the stuff that's going to be coming out at the end of this year, and for the, I'm saying, the console is solid, the I'm saying, the games is there, the content's there, the features is there. If you're still bitching and complaining and whining and moaning, then listen, man, then it just ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I understand for certain things to be upset about and to talk about and to want to address like the advertising and stuff like that, but they've already told you now that we finally got an answer. So now we know, and then we can sit there and talk about it, but we now know. And if Microsoft don't care enough to advertise, so be it. Keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, Richili said my dog was my brother. He said my mom loved him more than me. When he died, I literally lost my brother. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, Briggs was the best best dog I ever had. I've had dogs all my life, but he was the best. He was the smartest. He was a gentle giant until he didn't. He was so protective. Like it was crazy. Like he would if we were cool with then he was cool with you. But if he wasn't cool, if I wasn't cool, or if my wife wasn't cool, or if like my kids wasn't cool with something, or looked at something different, or he could sense it, and like he just flipped on a dime, like yo no. They get the hair stick on the back. His hair would stick up in the back like a goddamn saying. It was crazy. Like he was, but he was such a lovable creature. Like I never had, like I was when we took him walking and stuff like that, of course, had him on a leash. But then it got to the point to where I didn't need a leash. He wasn't going nowhere. He stayed right next to us. It was crazy. Like he was so smart. He never. There was one time I overslept, and like he liked sleeping in his crate, and we were trying to get him out of that, but he just liked sleeping in his crate. And there was a time I overslept, and I was like, oh man, and I heard him whimpering, and I got up, and I was like, oh man, good, because I stayed up all night playing something. And then I was like, oh my goodness. I said, and so my wife forgot to let him out that morning because I guess she was running late or something like that or whatever. But and so I got up and then so he had to use the bathroom. Normally another dog would be like, man, shit, I gotta let this go. And so he held it for I don't know how long. And because he had a pattern, it's like if if I was staying up late or whatever to go to bed, then I would take him out, or my wife would take him out, or whatever, multiple times a day or whatever. But he held it, just stuff like that. Like even at his, I thought that he would, have accidents because of how sick he was. Even at he did not use the bathroom in his house. He just didn't. He just because he knew that was you couldn't do that. And I'm just saying, like, just everything that dog was about. Like, he was the best dog I've ever had. Like, he was, and yeah, he's going to be greatly missed. Greatly missed. Great dog. Great damn dog. So, and that's why I was like, I ain't go. If I get another pet here, if I'll get another pet eventually, some years down the line. But if I get any pet here soon, it'll be a fish. It ain't gonna be no dog, no cat, nothing else, man. Like that's it. So, uh, yeah. So Briggs with people, yeah. Briggs was a bad boy, but yeah, we definitely miss him. But let's get into something that is this is going to be, I don't know. This might if you don't want to hear about politics, then now's the time to get the hell out of here. Because yeah, I do have quite a bit to say, but I'm not gonna I'm saying this is something that I wasn't gonna bring up into GRG, because that's why I do these my thought videos, because I'm saying I just got to say what I got to say and to keep it moving. Now this whole, and it's related to the gaming situation because I see more and more of these grifters get out here. The one thing that annoys me more than anything is people that tell you that they don't care about politics, they don't want to talk about politics, but then yet they always bring up something about politics. Case in point about this grifter shit. The more and more I see these people that are these right wingers that's talking about DEI, talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and so forth and so forth. Those are those dog whistles, and before that, the woke stuff and everything else and all that, right? Those are those dog whistles that was coming from the right wingers. And now I start seeing more and more people and gamers bringing that stuff up. Case in point, you're looking at my gameplay of the first Descendant, and and listen, yeah, the character models are beautiful, sexy, wonderful people. Another thing too that that I don't know anybody noticed or nobody talked about is that there's only one black character in that game. Everybody is white. Now I don't care about that because you know what? The director of the game did not come out and say some dumb shit like the guy from Final Fantasy 16 said, and then double down and try to get cute with it. So that tells you right there. I don't care about anything about, if you got an all white cast, you got an all black cast, whatever. I don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like, if the game is fun, the game is fun. But yeah, the models are sexy. They look good. That's great. But once you start playing the game enough, constantly looking at Bunny's ass. I'm not constantly looking at, the other female characters' bodies. I'm worried about beating my enemy and what loot did I get and things like that, and trying to beat the colossi, or whatever they call them in the game, and stuff like that. I'm worried about that. I'm not worried about sitting there looking at that. I mean, every once in a while you might look at that, So if somebody's like got a good design on a character, I'm like, oh, okay, I see you, and then I keep it moving. But it's serious. Now, I do feel that there should be a mixture of a game, well, not mixture, but well, yeah, a mixture. But what I'm saying is that I do feel that there should be games that come out like Stellar Blade, like the first Descendant, but I do think that there's also should be games that looks like Forbidden West. Listen, How do you want to have, you want Aloy to go running around with makeup and all prettied up, you know what I'm saying, looking good, have a great outfit. Man, this chick is swinging in different terrain, running from big ass robots. You think she gonna be smelling and looking good? What the hell are y'all thinking? Like, I mean, man, listen, come on, man. And listen, and then when you see characters, when these people bring up this bullshit about like designers from the West and look at what the designers from the East, listen, they're all when you listen, there's always going to be freakazoids out there that's going to want to see hot TNA, right? I get it, right? But I mean, what's the problem of having realism, having overweight characters, having characters that doesn't look as attractive as another character? Why do we have to have all the men have abs and all this or look a certain way? Why do we have to have every black character have a goddamn have cornrows or bald head or now the Killmonger? Like what? No, like diversity is what's the most important thing that we should be wanting and looking for. It's the same reason why I always push back against the old guard of the old Halo 1 through 3. We need that same shit over and over and over and over again. No. Hell, Mario is he looks the same, but those games don't play the same. There's different characters to get into and to enjoy. It's nuts. It's nuts to me, and I just find it to be a problem when people tell you, like I said, that they don't you don't care about politics, but then you throw your bullshit politics into the fray. And so, recently, of course, the assassination attempt on Trump, um, you know, and I'm glad that I'm glad he's good. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I don't want the man to die. I just want him to lose in the polls. I just want him to lose the election. I don't want the man to die. I want him to see get defeated. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want no. I don't wish any harm on that. That's why I was like, you know, God bless that the man didn't die. But I made a comment. I mean, I've been making a lot of comments on Twitter X here lately, but I made a comment with saying like, look, hey, GOP, do you like guns now? Because listen, as a gun owner, I own guns. I own them. I've lived and dealt with guns. I hunt. Well, I haven't hunted in a while, but you know, I hunted. You know, my uncles and got my grandfather's guns, got my other uncle's guns that passed away. Like I've lived with guns all my life. I was at one time an NRA member until I found out what the NRA was really all about after Sandy Hook. And so I'm like, yo, I'm paying these people for this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I can get discounts here and this, that, and the third, but yo, this is how y'all operate. These are babies that got killed. There needs to be reform. And so I made a comment and I said, GOP, how you feel about guns now? And then so I get the comments, I get these people coming after me and shit. And so I had a particular person come after me and said, you know, saying that I had bad behavior for making that point. You know, and caring about my guns, you know, and bringing up about like, you know, that's a First Amendment right or whatever type of bullshit. So my point back was like, you know, what's bad behavior is when you and others care more about these damn guns than you care about my civil rights. Because Project 2025 is real. This ain't no hyperbole. This ain't no bullshit. This isn't no conspiracy theory. That shit is real. So I find that to be bad behavior. Well, I guess that didn't sit well. And so I get an indirect message. It didn't say this, but this is exactly how this was an indirect message back, how I took it. How about you just shut up and play? How about you just shut up and talk about games instead of talking about politics? I had to mute you for over a year because of the stuff that you post. Okay, so if you had to mute me for over a year and couldn't come to me about it, then obviously you are too much of a coward to come correct at me and talk to me about it. And then when I've made a discussion and saying, look, because I've seen what what these people like, is put and posting. I mean, what they posted and say like, don't say that because listen, how you want to vote and what your thought process. As long as you vote, as long as you care about democracy to whatever degree that you care. If you want to vote for Trump, that's your business. I totally disagree with it, but that's fine. And just the same thing for whatever on the opposite side. As long as you participate, the one type of people I can't stand the most is the people that always want to sit on a soapbox, but then they tell you they don't vote. So you rather have people tell you what to do and how to live, but yet you want to bitch about it if things don't go the way that you want to because you don't want to fight for those rights. You are the people that my family has told me about that I can't fuck with, right? So, but anyway, back to my point. So I see the grifter stuff that's going on, and I see all this stuff that you've posted and things this nature, and I let it cook. I've watched those videos because I'm always a person that wants to learn, right? Like, what's the angle here? What is the person like? And that's why I like having discussions. And I get it. There's a lot of people that don't want they may feel like it's confrontation, but it's really actually discussion. There's a difference between arguing and debating. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's always been my thing. It's like I've grown up with that. Not only from my family, but from my friends that that's not in the gaming space. Like most of all my friends are military people. Hell, I got one homeboy that's a Navy SEAL, an ex-Navy SEAL. So, you know what I'm saying? So like we always debate and if there's something that we feel that's wrong or what, we on each other's ass about it. Like that's just how I grew up. That's how like all my boys and homegirls, like we just do that. So when I do that, it's more of a thing for me. It's more of a thing for me when I do it, and then I got to understand, oh shit, I gotta back up. Cause maybe, maybe I came on a little too strong, right? So one case in point, I was bringing up something and I wasn't trying to be offensive, but I guess it became offensive, and then I said, whoa, 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 my bad, I didn't mean it that way. And so I was like, look, I'm just stepping out of this situation. Like I'll just leave the party. I don't want no trouble or anything like that, right? And so then the person came back and was like, no, it's all good, but I still stayed away because I'm like, look, I don't if I've come to notice the more and more that I do this stuff with people outside of my circle, right? Um, they don't want any type of confrontation. But I find it to be problematic as though when I have not said anything to anybody about how they feel on their stance, unless they come to me about it, um, that, oh, well, oh, then you're the person that gets irate, or you the person that gets this. No, fuck that. No, you can't do me like that. And listen, and I do take this thing seriously, especially with this election. Um, and I find, you know what I'm saying, because there's a lot on the line. I mean, some people look at it and say that it's not, and they try to whitewash it by trying to say, well, this is no, 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 no. This shit is serious. And if you go back into history, every generation had to go through it. And this is our time. Our generation is going through it. Going back to the 30s with the fascism shit. Go read that shit up. Like there was like Ford and all those rich people. They followed behind Hitler. They wanted they wanted the same. They wanted America to be just like hell. There was people that was in the government that was siding with Hitler and was wanting to pull a coup, a real coup. Then you go back before that and see that there was the first true insurrection that happened in the United States, going back to the 1800s. Like it's not. This is this. It's happened every generation to this point. There's always a group of people that want something to be go their way when they feel that a change is coming to the country or to other countries or places in the world, and if they don't like it, they want to change it or make it. And in this point, people want things to go back pre-civil rights. And I'll be goddamn if you think I'm finna go back to where I got to get on a water fountain where it says colored and it says white. You got me fucked up. It ain't happening. And so you want to sit there and you want to take away books, or you want to teach. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't. it's so much going on right now, and that people need to pay attention. I'm not saying you can't game and get away from it, but there's a lot of real shit that's going on here. And it's the sad thing is that this bullshit has gotten into the gaming space where it shouldn't be. And it's here. I know, Sir X Man. We do need to do a political show. I get you, but the reality of it is that I know that, like, my wife, like, this is, and I told her, and this is crazy because my wife came to me and told me this last night, and she reminded me what I told her because I was talking about, like, stuff that happened like this. I said this back in 2020 when Biden was going against Trump and Trump did the Proud Boy shit, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker, he's amendment, right? Like, I'm like, bro, what's his name? Anyway, um, so I said, like, there's a lot of people that won't care about politics until the politics hit them in their backyard. It's just the reality of it. It's just like it's the reality with anything. People will overlook. If you live in a really nice neighborhood, you're not going to care about the people that's in neighborhoods that are infested with crime. You know, you're not going to, the people that's the neighborhoods that's infested with crime are not going to give a damn about the people who that may be in a nice neighborhood, but then that person's but there's domestic abuse or sexual abuse or something. People, there, it's just the way it is. It's sad, but it's just the reality because people have so many other things on their plate that they got to deal with, right? So I totally understand that. But when shit hits your backyard, then you start getting concerned. But then the sad thing about it is if you wait too late, you cooked. So that's the point that we're at. Like, I, the Supreme Court's tripping. They made all these crazy decisions here lately. You know what I'm saying? We got a person like, listen, let's keep this shit 100,000, 1,000,000. If any of us that's listening, that will be listening later, that had felonies, we would not hold our job, or unless it's according to what kind of job you have. We would not have it. We would not get a federal job. We would not get a really good job with felonies. Hell, you can't even vote in some states with felonies. And you mean to tell me you cool with a motherfucker going and being my president with felonies? Like, people, this wasn't rigged. People sat there as peers, Americans. There was people that listened to Truth Social and followed and accepted this whole situation, and they still found this man guilty. That alone. You know what I'm saying? You, me, or anybody will not get a job or not hold a job in the government or anywhere else if we have felonies. But you're telling me that this shit is cool here. The hate, the division. Anytime that you have, and I mean, think about this. Most of us are not racist people. We might have bigoted moments or moments of whatever, and you know what I'm saying, where we say and act and say things that might not be nice. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I get it. But most of us aren't racists, and most of us don't fuck around and hang around racists. And if you get endorsed by a racist, how the hell are you gonna sit there and tell somebody, "Hey man, I vote for that guy"? What do you think you're telling me? Word? Okay, see, let you do you, bro. But I gotta look at you side eye. Then on top of that, you in this space of telling somebody, "Hey man, how about we just talk about gaming and listen?" That's cool. That's cool. And I let you cook and do what you say, post what you post, and all that. But if I post something, you let me cook. I'm not gonna hold my tongue for any goddamn body. This is the reason why I'm in a position where I'm at, to where I don't really fuck with too many people. Because listen, you say something out of pocket on me, I'm coming after you. I'm saying it right back. Ain't nobody scared of nobody in this spot. I'm not kissing your ass to get up here to be hanging around anybody. I do this all on my own. My money goes into this. I appreciate every super chat. I appreciate everybody who listened to me, and I appreciate all you guys. But I'll be goddamn for anybody, any of these content creators or anybody else, that I'm gonna kiss your ass for me to get a spot somewhere. It ain't happening. It won't happen. Never will happen. I don't want you to kiss my ass. I want you to come at me. And if you have a problem with me, you come to me. That's what people do. That's how it's supposed to be. And it's not have to be confrontational. We can debate about it. That's how I look at it. I look at it as a debate. I look at it, not, I don't look at it as a confrontational argument. It's just what it is. And so when you see these people talking about grifting and I mean doing all this grifting and talking about DEI, and then you see they saying this about Harris, oh a DEI, what? The president before that she was a district attorney. She was an attorney general. What? A DEI hire? She has more credentials than the former president and the goddamn and the VP pick. Way more credentials. What are you talking about? Listen, the sexism, the racism, the you know what I'm saying. Listen, you don't have to like Democrats. You don't have to like Democrat policies. You don't have to vote for Harris or and you might vote Republican all the way through. That's fine. That's your choice as an American. I stand on that. But you cannot come and tell me as a person, well, I don't think racism exists. I don't think that sexism exists. It's right there in your fucking face. It's so prevalent that we got it in our video games now. The sexism. I don't want to see a character that's not hot. I want to see a sexy, fine character to where I could sit there and brag about and show fake ass and titties. Bro, you sound weird. You sound strange. Why does it matter? I don't want all this inclusion. I don't want people of color all over myself. I don't want a black samurai. Even if there was a real black samurai, well, he was a retainer. Okay. All right. Do you know what a retainer do? Okay, whatever. I don't want that. Japan don't want that. Really, they got a statue of man. And if that doesn't bother you to a point, just a smidgen. Something like I said, a lot of people just want to avoid it because it sounds like, oh man, nah, bruh. It is a problem. It is a problem. I would have the same type of and somebody might come to me and say, well, Mega, you saying all this, but what about white Americans that has to face this? Listen, I don't want any I don't want any group of people to be excluded from anything. Gaming is diverse as this world. And gaming should reflect of how the world is. Period. And when you have people that listen, if you like the old shit from back in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, to the 2013 or whatever, before the changes started happening. I mean, the changes really started happening around 2017, 2018, I believe. Because I think that's when the Me Too movement happened. It happened right after Trump got in office. And so, but before, if you want to listen to this, play back then that's like that. And there's still games to this day that still has these over sexualized characters. Listen, I dig it. I can't wait to play Stellar Blade. I feel sorry for what the PC community is going to do to that girl. But listen, until it's going to be wild. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I enjoy seeing a sexy character too. Like people clown me on GRG for me having the hots for the one character for the new SNK game for World Wars. I'm like, yo, she thick. It is what it is. I got you. But I'm not tripping over I'm not trying because I love playing with the big body girl from Overwatch. I ain't played Overwatch in a while, but she was my favorite character. Like, I mean, shit, like on Bleeding Edge. But I love playing with Buttercup. And I didn't have a problem with playing with Buttercup. I remember people was over here, look at that big old girl right there. That shouldn't be in game. What? what are you talking about? And normally, this is what's the other thing. Either they don't have a woman like that, they don't have a woman, or they have a woman that looks like that. Let's just keep it 1,000. That's like what you got at home. Let's be real about it. What you got at home. You know what I mean? Yeah, my. Yeah, that's it. Yes, my. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen, what Michi say is I'd rather vote for Battle Juice from Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. Listen, it is what it is. Vote for who benefits you most. And Kermit saying, vote for who benefits you most, whether it's Dem or GOP. With that being said, I didn't like Crime Bill Joe or lock a person up, Kamala. Now again, let me set that record straight, because there's this misinformation, and there's a lot of it that goes on. It's no different than what we get in the gaming space. There's somebody that bring up a comment, and then it flows like this. Okay, so let's get this straight. And the opposing side lets you know this as well. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I like to listen to the opposing side to hear what they have to say. So the crime bill, the one thing that people will want to go ahead and try to attack Kamala Harris for, like, it's really fucked up, because because the people on the right don't even say her name properly. They say Kamala, but it's Kamala. But with Harris about what she was a DA, and there was supposed to be like this guy from death row, and they let the guy go. This is what the right says, that since she's soft on crime, right? And they said that she let this guy go, and then the guy came out, and then he killed a cop, right? Well, it was his first offense. Now, the other thing that people were saying, right? It was his first time. He was a first time offender, and she let him out early. So then when you say lock her up, then you're talking about the situation where there was close to 1,000 black people that got locked up over weed. That wasn't the case. The situation was that the previous, which was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the governor before that, or after that, I can't remember which one was whatever, but I know Schwarzenegger was the first one to implement it. To where at the time, weed laws, I mean, if you had possession of marijuana, that was considered a crime, for sure. Like, I mean, I know plenty of homies that got caught up and had to pay crazy fines to keep themselves out of jail, or a few of them that did go to jail and had to sit out their fines for marijuana. And so that law was there. She inherited the law. That law of where those 1,000 people was from the previous administration. She took half of those people out. And then she went on record, and you can find the videos of when she's up for office again, where she's talking about reform for marijuana use. She did not feel that, because they called her something in crime. Like, basically, she was being too nice to people on crime, because she wanted to pass a bill to reform people smoking marijuana, because she didn't feel that those people needed felonies. Go look for the shit yourself. Like, that's what I'm saying. When people sit there and use this, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Hell, there was people out here that's impersonating to be black women and black men that aren't even from United States, that's over here getting caught from talking this bullshit. So if we're going to keep it 1,000, we'll keep it 1,000. Go look it up. Go look it up. It's right there. So this whole thing of where she was locking black people up on a high basis or whatever, because even when I sit there and was looking at the situation, I'm saying, like, the laws were different, and she had, and you tell me a DA or an AG that bats 1,000 that gets it right all the time. It just doesn't happen, because how messed up the laws are in this country. That needs reform. We need to sit there and to get that shit fixed and taken care of as well. But you know what? Who gets affected the most? People of color. You know that. Everybody knows that. That's a fact. So again, the previous administration, the government, they were the ones that implemented that law. She had to go by those guidelines, but she was trying to fight to get those laws changed. Matter of fact, in 2017, when she was up there, it was 2017, 2018, she brought up that act again, and her and Biden passed that law while Biden was president and she was VP to take away marijuana charges to where they weren't felonies. Look it up. Look it up. So, it's a crazy situation, man. It's a crazy situation. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and listen, the law of the situation, the law, and if you got money, you can get away with a lot of shit. That's just the reality of it is. That's why there needs to be reforms, because it shouldn't matter that you have more money to get to buy your way out of freedom. There should be enough prosecutors and people that's out there that cares enough to want to do their job effectively instead of looking for a paycheck. That's why voting is so goddamn important, and that's why when people keep talking about, voting is all the politicians are the same. No, they're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. That's an excuse for you to say you don't want to vote. And why don't you just say you just don't want to vote? Because not all politicians are the same. Because if all politicians were the same, then they would all be on board with Trump, or they would all be on board by now Harris. And that's not the case. There wouldn't be politicians that act like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and there wouldn't be politicians that act like Bernie Sanders. They are not all the same. They're not all the same. And so therefore, that's where you have to align yourself to understand where you align with. And this is the reality of it, right? So, and this is an important election. And I've sit down, like I told my wife, and I've now I'm going back to what my wife came and told me. Oh, well, I did say that. Where, if it doesn't affect you until it comes to your backyard, which it now hit her in the backyard because of what the right wants to do with women's rights. Oh, what? And then the whole cat lady thing from what JD Vance said, because my wife is a cancer survivor and couldn't have children. And then what Vance said was basically putting the point out of saying, well, people who can't have children and people who and gay people, pretty much, they shouldn't have the rights to say anything because they haven't put anything into the country. They haven't pretty much, because you can't have a baby. That pissed a lot of women off, because there was a lot of women that try. And then on top of that, do you want to take away treatments that could help women who can't have children naturally? You want to take away those. You want to take away something like that could give them an opportunity to maybe they can have children. And on top of all that, so you force these women to have children through incest, through rape, through anything, right? You force these women to have children, but then yet you cut programs to where these women can't help take care of their kids. Oh no, pull up by your bootstraps and figure it out. Have these babies, but we're not going to assist you if you're not making enough money at the job that you're working at, or if you can't work. You may be injured. You might be lazy. But regardless, that baby should be taken care of. You want to force these women to have babies, so once they have the baby, you saying fuck them because we're cutting these programs. I tell you, man, it's a mess. But I'm glad, and I said this to my wife. I said, look, it's going to be up to the women to make this. That's going to decide what the situation with this election. It's going to be up to women. It's going to be up to women. So we'll see. We'll see. I damn sure will be voting. But again, the flip back on the part about the gaming aspect of it is pretty much about bringing this race bullshit in here, talking about sweep. Listen, I've said this before. Is that, like, look, I don't feel that everything that Sweet Baby does, what Sweet Baby is for, I'm with. I'm cool with that. But what I don't like is the pushback and making you and the staff that works for Sweet Baby Inc. look bad because you want to push back and then make this about, because yeah, there's some of these people that brings up this bullshit are racist. They are, but there's other people that's concerned, and so you can't just push back and label everybody as being racist because it's much more difficult than that. There's just no different than a person would look at a group of black teenage boys and say, "Oh, look at them hoodlums," right? Like that's bullshit. You wouldn't want to be put in that position. So why should you put everybody in that position if they have legitimate concerns? Now, the whole DEI situation, that's just a racist trope. That's a bullshit trope. What you're telling me is that people of color are not qualified to have those jobs. That's what you're saying. They're not smart enough. They're not good enough to have those jobs. But then yet on the flip end, you can look at somebody like Vance, the vice president the vice president nominee for Trump, who's got networked in through the guy from who owns PayPal. Tilly, whatever his name is. Look that shit up. The guy he did his service. You know what I'm saying? God bless him for being a serviceman. But after that, Tilly has put him in a position, and that's networking is no different. It's no different. So if you're saying that, well, DEI helps get this person, that person of color, then you just call it networking. So he's the white version of DEI because he's worked his way to not have a record, but then keeps on getting to higher elevation. Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on, man. Stop it. So I find it to be full of bullshit. And when people bring up stuff about DEI, about stuff going on in here within the gaming, no, it's about diversity, and it should be about diversity. It should always be about diversity. It's just the same thing what I say about Halo, that, listen, I seen the racism bullshit. I had people in my comments. I still have those videos up where I was talking about Halo 5 and then about Battlefield 1, and those racist comments are still there. I didn't erase them. They're there. There's a group of people that has a problem with people of color being the lead. There's a group of people that has a problem of people that don't look a certain way to be leads in games or to be in games. That is a problem. That is something. Look, that's gross. That is gross. So, but that's my whole point on that. It's just like, I feel like, listen, if you're going to talk about politics, then talk about them. But we shouldn't be afraid about it. We should have a discussion about it. You know what I'm saying? We should have a discussion. You know what I'm saying? We all have to, listen, I know this personally, and maybe there were people that don't care, but this is the reality. Like, as a black man, I had to work harder, pause, to get to a position than some of my white coworkers. No question. I was one of the last people to get my raise, because I'm like, because the profession that I work is not too many. Well, there was more black people that was coming, more black people coming in before I left, but at the time I was really the only black guy there. There was only two black guys in that department. There was only two of us in that department. Now there was others that were scattered, but it was mostly white men. And I'm there longer. My credentials is bad. I got no write-ups, things like that. These other people had write-ups. They had other shit. You know what I'm saying? They made mistakes. They lost money because they didn't pour they didn't get the mud properly, especially when you're doing with stuff with the state, when you're building bridges and when you're helping with bridges and certain buildings, like case in point, they were doing an expansion on the OU campus, and the inspectors don't play around, especially on bridges. They don't play around, and highways. But bridges especially, and then there's this one inspector. I came in there, my mud was a little bit hot. And so I added enough water. Dude sit there and told me to move out the way. He was like, man, you send it back. And then I sit there, I called and they told him, they said, well, where is it at? What's the slump? And I told him, they said, you got water? I said, I got water. I said, I could put the water in and I could talk to him. But he had to talk. My supervisor had to talk to the guy, to the inspector, to let him know, like, look, if we could just add some water to it and it'll get to the proper slump. You know what I'm saying? I made the mistake of not checking it because I was like, oh, it should be right about there. But that was on me. That was my problem. That was my fault. This one guy did not give a shit. He just came up there. Slump was bad. Dude said, man, get this shit out of here. He comes back. He do it again. So that load right there he lost 2 loads, which we're talking about thousands of dollars of mud that that he kept messing up. I sit there and got fortunate, didn't mess it up. Dude got written up for it because of it. He gets a promotion. He gets a promotion 2 months after that. I still didn't get a promotion. I didn't get a promotion until a year after that. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm used to that because of the professions that I worked at, and I seen it and I get it. And you know what? He was the son of somebody else's somebody that worked at another department. They know, the same bullshit. So don't come to me and talking about DEI and this person, you just got to work hard. No, bruh, trust me. You got to work hard. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not all places now these days. It might be a little bit different, but from my experience, nah, we have to grind. So it is what it is. And that's all that we want, is to have an opportunity to have the seat at the table, to talk, and to everything be an equal playing field. But there's people that don't want an equal playing field. They still want it the same status quo, and it's not, and that's just not how it's got to be, and that's not how it should be. It should be to where everyone is included. And so for right now, when you sit there and you're sitting at this level, and then people are getting closer and closer. Oh, no. We need to get back. No. And then you lie to people and say, well, no, it's like this. It's not. It's just that people are starting to not give a fuck about race and equality and sexism and a person's sex, because these kids are growing up and accepting these things. There's groups of people that still feel that that's ungodly. That's not right. That's not this. Well, then that's for God to judge, not for you. And we shouldn't go backwards. We should accept and love everyone, because, hey, if you care about the Bible, then the Bible says you do that. So it is what it is. Last point, and it ain't gonna be that long, and that's talking about Game Pass. Game Pass is unmatched. You know, I have no idea what the hell the media does, and then people still talking bad about Game Pass. Game Pass is incredible. Like I said, right after I get off and getting done with this, I'm gonna get started with trying out Flintlock and Path of the Goddess. And you know what I'm saying, to get a good feel of it, maybe, you know what I'm saying, see how far I can get, record a little bit of gameplay, let other people see it for tonight's show. But what Game Pass, I mean, check this, think about this. Stalker 2 is getting delayed. And Stalker 2 is getting delayed until what, November, December, something like that. And nobody's going to care, because there's still so much content. See, that is when you know that you're doing a fantastic job with bringing out the content. Call of Duty, like I just seen Sir X-Man said he downloaded Call of Duty. That's huge. That's huge. That's exactly that's. What else can we say about Game Pass? I mean, the content is extraordinary. I've never in my entire life, for me buying stuff, buying games, well, not buying games, but renting games from like Blockbuster, and I never rented a game from Redbox. At that point I wasn't renting games. I was buying my games from GameStop or trading them in. But I never rented a game from Redbox. And at one time we had Redboxes all over the place. We don't see too many Redboxes anymore. But at the time when Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video and other places like that was around, and the mom and pop store video places, like, there was always a lack of games. You always, you wanted that new game and it was already gone. Like, damn. Oh man. But then you went and you found something else that looked good. Because how we looked at it back then, all the old heads know, we just looked at the box. If the box looked cool and we turned it around and the game looked all right, but the box said everything. That was the best advertising actually back then. Then we're gonna give it a shot. You know what I mean? And then we just go through it, and then everything is solid. Or it wasn't, and you just lived with it, and you still try to play it because if you only had enough money, or that for me at that time for allowance for me cutting yards. Listen, I only had enough for a couple of because I had to play. I had to put money in for football pads and mouthpiece and all that other stuff, whatever. But for I only had a little bit of change for, for maybe getting 2 games, so, and my mom wasn't going to sit there and pay, just let me know, like, look, if you want it, you got to earn it and then go from there. I'm not going to give you no extra money for something. So, you just went with it and did it. So going back and thinking about those days when you wanted to play certain games, and sometimes you got lucky. Every once in a while, somebody just dropped off that game you was looking for. I remember Street Fighter Alpha 3. I was like, oh, damn, I went up there and somebody dropped it off. And I was so happy until I opened it and put it in my PlayStation and it was completely scratched up. And so I went to the store and bought all different types of stuff to pay more than I did for renting the game, like to try to save the game from and it worked, but scratch repellent stuff, and to make that game work, it worked, but it's crazy. You don't have to worry about that these days. You just boot it up and you're ready to go, man. Like, and then it's like all these new dope games, like you don't have to wait. You just have to wait for the date for the game to drop and then it's there. Or here is what kind of like we talked about with the Call of Duty stuff. They'll probably bring the Call of Duty game like at around this time and then get you ready, prepared for the next Call of Duty. I don't think, what I'm saying? Like they'll have a moment to where they'll bring the older Call of Duties in. But I think they want to kind of slowly integrate that because they want you to go ahead and buy or, or go ahead and be a part of Game Pass so you can anticipate it. And then, and I know that some people want all the stuff right now, but I see how they slow moving it and stuff like that with the Activision games like that. And I don't see a problem with that, me personally, because there's so much to play right now. So it's just crazy. But the content it's unmatched. There's nothing out there that's got this much content. It's nothing out there. There's no service. EA Play, they've came up a lot, but still isn't on the level of Game Pass. PlayStation, PSN Plus, not even close. Ubisoft, they're going to have some hot games, but it's not even close. Nothing out there that's a service has the quality of content that Game Pass is. We used to sit there and talk about, man, if Xbox could get some of those big hitters on Game Pass, then we're talking. Then they went from, well, the quality of games, once the big hitters came, well, look at the reviews. This game wasn't good enough. Well, then you get games that get higher reviews. Well, I'd rather buy my games. Okay, we can't listen to the excuses anymore. It's just like as I concede the console war, you guys need to concede Game Pass. It's just the best place. It's just the best gaming value. It's the best place to play games. Period. And you got the option where you don't even have to buy the console. You know what I mean? So like if you just didn't want to spend the money for an Xbox, you don't have to anymore. Like, I don't know, man. Game Pass is just absolutely incredible. I think that it's only going to get better because listen, every game could be a 70 or 80 from the reviews, and there'll be people that'll bitch and complain or whatever about that. But the quality, but I guarantee you that there will be a lot of people that sit there and talk bad about Game Pass will be playing those games on Game Pass. Trust to believe that. Trust to believe that. So anyway, thank you guys, man. It was good to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I know, like I said, I've been away, but it's all good. We're here. Tonight, GRG, hopefully if we're on time. And then you know what I'm saying? And so we get started doing that. It's gonna be free. It's going to be free conversation. So whatever the fellas want to talk about tonight, I'm totally with it. And if people in the chat, if you come through tonight, hey, have your questions ready so we can go ahead and we can talk about it and address it. It'll be great. And then hopefully I'll have this stupid thing fixed so where we can show people, everybody, your comments. You know what I'm saying? I really do apologize for that. So anyway, good for the, I had to get the politics situation off my chest. Again, I'm sure that I'll do it again at some point, but it'll be in my thoughts. It won't be so much on GRG. And all that. So I thank you guys so much for coming through. And we'll see you guys hopefully later on tonight. And man, y'all have a good one. And as usual, man, take care of yourself. God bless y'all, man. So hopefully we'll see y'all tonight. Have a good time. And then Fight Night Sunday, we'll be back this Sunday. I need to go ahead and probably most likely we'll play Tekken because I haven't even booted up. I haven't even booted up Tekken to play with Lydia let's see. Did anybody else? No, I don't think. No, Terry is not. I think they just announced Terry. But I think that there's a new season of Guilty Gear. I need to cop that. So yeah. Fight Night's gonna be lit Sunday. So I hope you guys will come and check that out. And like I said, I'll be having my schedule put out there for Twitch, and then I'm going to be doing some stuff on TikTok as well. I'm going to start doing more of that. And then for I would put Fight Night on YouTube, but it's according to what fighters that I play, and because I always get flagged if I play more of the Japanese fighters. Street Fighter I can get away with, Tekken I can get away with, but if I want to play some of those odd, or I should say, some lesser known Japanese games, I get flagged. And so that's why I don't do Fight Night on YouTube that often, and I just do it on Twitch because it's there. I can play any and everything. And I don't know why YouTube don't change that policy. It's pretty stupid, but it is what it is. But I could go ahead and I can record and I could post it as a video so people could see some of the stuff that we're playing. Because that's what Fight Night's all about, just showing you all different types of fighters, not just the same particular ones people are used to seeing or knowing about, because there's a lot of great fighters out there. So we'll do that, and then next week we'll be getting ready to do our very first sports night, playing that college football, and then we'll integrate and put and add that Madden in there. So yeah, I can't wait. I hope you guys will enjoy the content coming to y'all. I will see you later. Have a good one. Peace.